guys, it's Lynn here. I hope everyone is having an incredible day. Now guys, I'm just in the polytunnel today, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of cleaning up in here. As I say, it's been kept pretty much tidy, but as you can see, there's a bit of Schlumberger falling on the floor there, and some of the plants need a little bit of deadheading. And I'll go and show you here what I mean. There's not a lot to do in the winter time. A lot of the plants, if not nearly all of the plants, are overwintering. So you're not going to see flowers or buds, other than perhaps a bit of growth on some of the winter growing succulents. But this is really what I'm going to be doing today, is just going through the collection, checking that there's no signs of bugs, and also removing any dead flowers from the late autumn. Because they can attract mould, as I'll just show you here. There's one of the, it's a Sedaveria, Echeveria and Graptopetalium cross hybrid, and as you see the flower head, it was flowering a few weeks ago and now it's dying back, but it's starting to go a bit mouldy on the top, so that needs to be cut back, because obviously living in a country with high humidity, if you don't remove the dead flower heads or dead leaves like this underneath, then it can cause fungus to set in. So the trick is, with a high humidity climate as we have here in Ireland and in our polytunnel, we have to keep everything immaculately clean. So I come in here every couple of days and go over everything as well as I can, just to check for any sort of dead dying leaves and pests, and that's the best way of keeping fungal infection at bay. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit of the process with you all. Now, this is one of them recycling bags that we get. We have a recycling collection here, which is great, and when I said the recycling, is actually for compost or any plant parts, so we put these back in here. We used to have a compost bin at the old house, but here we put them in and then everything goes back to composted, so it's a good form of recycling. And just got to show you this. This is a load of roots from one of our aeniums, because it sent out aerial roots. Obviously we are keeping it drier than we normally would, but it's getting the moisture in from the aerial roots it sends out here. Probably because it's quite humid in here, as in the air temperature, so the air humidity. But everything's doing well, and I see I'm going to be tidying up all of these as well here. And I'm going to start off then by giving the aloe a bit of a trim. Now guys, it's always, when you're trimming plants and cutting down dead leaves, always make sure you use clean shears or scissors, whatever you're using. I always clean these over with clean alcohol to make sure there's no fungus or anything lurking on these from past using them. So literally just cutting back on here. And so I wouldn't normally be bothering to do this if they're in the house, but I think it's important. I think with the climate here in Ireland, it is so humid. As I say, I'll just show you the humid. It is over 100% on there, so we can't afford to let dead leaves lurking about on the plants. There's no chance of fungus infections setting in. And as I say, I just do this every few days. I just go over and just check, obviously making sure that I remove these and then put them into the recycling bag here. It's just keeping it all as clean as possible. Trimming down the carnivores. Now it's good to also with the Echeverias, they sort of die old leaves coming back from the base. I always gently pull them away, and I've made a separate video on how to remove the dead leaves from Echeveria plants, because it is very easy to do. You just literally take the bottom layers away. As I say, I always find this helps to prevent any type of mould or fungal attack coming in, and that's always a good way, I find, to help keep the place as clean as possible, sort of like from but the sort of like a husbandry type of way, as they say. Keeping everything tidied up. As I say, don't pull things away unless they come away easily. But That's good. Little plant here as well. All the little leaves underneath. I say, not only I'm a bit of a tidy freak, I have to say, when it comes to the plants. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I just find that the more dead leaves that are finished are removed and it's kept tidy as possible, the less chance, as I say, of any type of fungal setting into the plant. So that's the best thing to do. And plus, I just love to see tidy plants. I love everything looking nice and neat in the polytunnel. The same, a bit of a nightmare like that. I think it's a bit of a form of OCD. I find it very therapeutic going around picking up all the dry bits and flower heads. And, so I'm going to cut this one off here. So with the scissors, I'm going to make sure this is the most important thing about removing old dead flowers, because this is what does cause, in a high humidity atmosphere with desert type of plants, it does cause problems if you don't remove the old flowers, because they can rot. As you see, there's a bit of fungus forming on there, but not enough to cause any problems. Just remove it in time. And that one's sort of okay. Just move that little bit, dry bit there. Now the epiphyllums, as you can see, that's got a bit black down there, so I'm going to be trimming that back, possibly up to about there. Moving the dead, the dead dried up pieces. There you go. And always a good opportunity to check that there's no other, as I see that's all dried up. Epiphyllums tend to do this, especially if they're a bit ideal than perfect conditions, as in here with the dampness, but they're okay. As I say, just a case of removing it. Click it off. That's it. Oops. And so far so good. I'm going to give all this floor a very good clean afterwards as well, so that's okay. That's all the epiphyllums. Hopefully they'll be abundant of flower in the spring. And now the next thing I'm going to do, as well as cacti succulents, we do have other plants in here. We have some pelargoniums. And by the way, guys, if you love pelargoniums, you have to check out my wonderful friend Liga. She has the most incredible pelargonium channel, and she has amazing polytunnel, guys, filled with the most beautiful pelargoniums, her pelargonium castle. So please do check Liga's channel out, guys. Links up above. She has some incredible pelargoniums, and she's very knowledgeable as well. Oh, and she's such a lovely girl. You have to check her out, guys. So again, links up above and down below also, guys. And also, please do check out my wonderful fiance Hans, his channel as well. He's going to be putting more videos on there as well. Family of cacti and other beauties. He's very knowledgeable. He's been growing cacti for, gosh, over 50 years, so it says a lot. So please do check him out, guys. And as I say, links up above and below. Now, as you can see, everything's pretty much okay here. I'm going to go back to pelargoniums in a bit. But I'm going to be, these are the ocotillos, and they're doing okay. As I say, I'm keeping these dry, and they're naturally dropping off their leaves now as they're dormant. But as I say, I'm going to be removing these dead leaves as well, so no chance of fungus setting in here. So come away pretty easy anyway. And I actually love coming in here, and I do this every few days. I go into the polytunnel, keep everything tidied up and clean as possible, because also bugs, pests do like to hide as well underneath fallen leaves and things like that. You often find slugs, which are a pain here as well because of the dampness. But pretty much okay there. Just checking if anything else needs to be trimmed. That actually looks like this. This is a Luxemburgia, and it does grow like that, so I don't need to do anything with that. Just in case you're wondering why I'm not trimming that when it's all died back. That's how the plant actually looks and grows. Yep, I'm going to hold here, just remove that one. And leaves on there too. Well, I think we're pretty much okay then. This one will be given a good trim soon in the spring. And I think we're pretty much okay. Just check if there's anything else that needs to be trimmed. That's okay. It's okay there. That is, I think it's okay for now. We'll leave that one. And it's pretty much okay. So the Echeveras often, normally they drop the bottom leaves as they carry on growing, but that seems to be good too. Aha, now I can see this needs to be trimmed. The zigzag cactus here. Cut that back. And that's there. Aha. Now, nearly done. And as I say, guys, with all your plant collections, it's always good to do this because keep on top of it. This time of year, as I say, there's really very little to be growing, but it's just good to keep on top of the dead, dying bits that you often get, because this helps to keep infections up at bay. Oh, as tough as anything. That I may have to go back and get the other shears for that. That's the... Yep, I may need to come back and get the other shears for that one, but I'll remember that one. So, yep, everything's okay here. And always check the joins, because with Ripsalis you often find a lot of pests hide between these joins, so always check if you have these type of plants, guys. If you find your plant suddenly starts dropping a lot of stems, it's often hidden pests, but pretty much okay. And yep, that one there needs obviously that's going to be trimmed. And there we go. So that's them all done, and that looks okay here. So say just remove a couple of the dead leaves there and on there. Just as I say, having good husbandry, if that's the word to use, cleanliness when you're growing plants, it does really make a difference to keeping infections and also pests. A good chance to go over your plants when you're doing this, to checking for pests and things, and removing any leaves. Another Echevera seems to be doing well there. And everything else is pretty much well pruned. Now these are the chilies. These, as you can see, need a good pruning. But I'm going to leave this to the expert, my Hansi. These are his plants, and he's going to trim them back for the winter. As I say, they lose their leaves this time of year, so I'm going to be leaving that for Hans to do. And that's the acorns I'm growing. Still no signs of life just yet, but that's it. And then the spider plants, they're looking okay. And there we go. So that was just a bit of an update on what to do just to keep on top of your plants during the winter when everything's pretty much dormant. And even the winter growers, like some of the succulents, don't really do a lot this time of year as such. Always go through your collection, whether you've got plants indoors or outdoors, or on windowsills. Just go through them to check for pests and bugs. And as I say, I do this every couple of days or so, and it keeps on top of everything to make sure everything is looking good. And as I say, I like everything to look tidy. But what I'm going to be doing now is, now that's all done, is just giving a bit of a floor, a bit of a clean over as well, because that's important to make sure there's no dead leaves and things hanging about where pests can hide under and infection can set in. Can you hear that, guys? That's the hailstones on top of the polytunnel roof. What a noise. Very therapeutic. And I'm pleased to say that it's about 2 Celsius outside today. And I'll just show you the temperature inside the polytunnel. It is 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is possibly about 12 Celsius. So it's a lot warmer inside here than out. And the polytunnel is on a very low setting here, the heat. It's only on 1 kilowatt, so it's fantastic at keeping the heat in here. The Bubba app helps. And during the day we've got, even though it's a very, very wet, sort of sleety day, hailstones and everything, the sun's been coming out briefly in between and keeping the heat in here. So it's brilliant, brilliant at keeping the heat, guys. Now with the pellies, I'm just going to be removing the dead leaves. They come away really easy, and it's again, keeping all on top of everything. So they're still in flower. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? These pelargoniums, these are Hansies that he brought over from Sweden earlier this year, and they're doing really well. They're still in flower, and as I say, easy enough just to prune the dead leaves off, because these do tend to go a bit fungal if they're not removed, and makes it look so much tidier. These are absolutely gorgeous, I have to say. And as I say, please do go and check Liga's channel out. You will be amazed at her pelargonium collection, guys. So here we go, almost done in here now. And as I say, that is hailstones on the roof, guys. And as I say, it's December, so all that's really happening here at the moment, even with the normal type of plants that aren't cacti and succulents, nothing really much actively growing. It's just a case of keeping everything all in clean order. And I think that's pretty much it. Check there, it's on its way out, and that's pretty much good. That's good too. Let's go and check this one now. This one's really flourishing, beautiful. And dead leaves remove. Pretty much it. Haha. So yep, that's it for now. Now guys, that's all the plants all tidied up and pruned, and any dead leaves and dead flower heads all removed, and everything is all nice and tidy and clean. As I say, this time of year everything's pretty much dormant, except for obviously the slumbergers up there, which are still actively growing with the lovely flowers at this time of year. Always a bonus when everything else is pretty much resting. And as I say, all you can really do with a lot of the cacti and succulents this time of year is make sure that any of the dead leaves and flower heads are removed, and there's no signs of any hidden pests lurking about in your greenhouses or in your windowsills. And as you can see there, everything's all looking a lot better now, a lot tidied up. And I do this every few days because obviously, especially with things like the pelargoniums, they do drop the leaves pretty quickly. And also, a lot of the succulents that are still winter growers, such as some of these here, the winter growers, as you can see, new growth on there, and the crassula. Some of the aloes will still be growing, so I keep an eye on them this time of year, and I don't let them go totally dry. I will give them a little bit of water as they're actively growing, but still more on the dry side, because I've been asked a few times about that. They say, what do they do about their winter growing succulents? Do you still let them go dry and not water this time of year? Well, I would still water them very slightly, letting the soil totally dry out in between. As you can see there, this one has not been watered for probably about 3 weeks, and there's still no signs of it shriveling. I can go like that and it's still very firm. But as it is still, as you can see, it's actively growing, new growth there. It's a winter grower, and I'll only give it water perhaps every probably now, maybe next week, a tiny bit, just enough to make sure it doesn't shrivel too much. But as I say, I do keep practically all of the plants in here except for the slumbergers at the moment lightly watered, and nothing else, sorry, only the slumbergers lightly watered, and some of the winter growers. Everything else is kept completely dry, and of course I water the pelargoniums, but everything else is all dormant for the winter. So guys, thank you all so much for your amazing comments and all your fantastic support. I cannot thank you enough with the channel. It is so amazing to get connecting with so many like-minded people who love plants as much as me and Hans from all over the globe. It is amazing. So guys, sending you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power. As always, from Ireland. Until the next video, guys. Bye.